So let's do this. So this is from a company called Coronation of Color. I've never heard of them. Oh, Queen City Yarn. Very cute. It's this little booklet, and it says 2025 lookbook, and tells about the dyer Janice and the yarn she's using. And she's apparently in Charlotte, North Carolina. And here's her colorways. So I'm seeing all of this for the first time too. It's non-superwash. The yarn is called Lotta, and she has lots of garments and designs. And then she's got other bases. This one looks like Surrey alpaca and 25% silk. That's pretty. And then she sent a couple of, what do they call these, bobbins with yarn on it. I will be knitting that up. So the first one is the Lotta, which is a non-superwash merino rambouillet. The next one is called Coleman, and it's 35% linen and 65% silk. Can't wait to try that. And so she gives a little story about each of her bases, or the featured bases, and then other patterns, and then some wholesale pricing information. So that must have cost a bit. Anyhow, that's cool. So I thought this was fun. I haven't tried yet because I am just unpackaging it. But so this is called Wild Stitchers, Affordable Quality Tools. She'll be just down the aisle from me. It looks like there's some stitch markers, a ruler, something that I can't see, a comb, like for fleece, something else I don't know. And there's this little gauger. So what I want to try is, let's see. I have mostly Addy needles. And so, they're sized just a little differently. So the one I grabbed, this is funny, which of course has an incredibly long cable and nothing ever gets put away. So it's just hanging on a hook. So I used to have the hook hanging behind my door. Some of my needles got squished. So I know this is a 4 because I use it all the time. And I know when I grab that one that it's a 4, not a 3. So it looks like this works with Addies. So I like that. That's cute. I'm always looking for a needle sizer. And then she's got some other things that I can't quite identify from the picture, but I am going to check her out. And she looks remarkably like this other gal, so I can report on that. So I'm going to get rid of this one, which is, I understand why people put these things up this way, but it's kind of, it's too big for, I'm not interested in placing an order. So she's got her price list, and it's actually 2 gals, and it's called Gems Looks Fibers, and they're in Mississippi. I know they've been in Indie Untangled before. So this is called Jet. Am I reading this right? Yeah, Jet Yak. It looks like it's an Aran weight, or let's see. Okay, so of course I don't see anything that's this size because they've got fingering, DK, but nothing that matches this. But maybe I don't think it's the bulky. Give me good information. So here it's called Jet Yak. Anyhow, I'll be swatching with that. So, and then there's this. So this is Natchez fingering and DK, but it's got this cute little thing on it, which I can use in my knitting bag. I'm always, I'm going to put their card there. I'm going to get rid of their other paper because I don't want to, who knows? I think that it was probably clear to them, but not clear to me. And a lot of people use the bags, which I don't approve of, although my cleaning person can recycle them because she pays for a special service, which she allows me to use. So I'm just hooking these 2 together, so I'll remember that they go together. So this is cute with this little bag. I love little bags like this, but I have no use for them. So they end up like drifting around because I think, oh, well, I can't throw that away. I will be able to, when I wind the skein and it's well knotted, put the little skein in and work out of that. So, oh, hey, Cynthia. So this is single, it looks like, fingering weight. That's all it says. It doesn't say that it's a single, it just says that it's fingering and superwash merino, and that it was dyed in Ireland. Okay? Townhouse yarns. So very cute. I love this color. I've actually been thinking about winding that tonight while I'm drinking my martini all day. So here's, I should take everything out of this box that I put it in. So I got this years ago from Claudia Hand Paint, and of course have used it for many things in my studio. So I'm going to throw all the yarn bits in there, and you're going to remember that this goes like that, yeah. And then I'll put the paperwork stuff aside. So this is adorable, but it's like a real acorn head. Oh, I did not say that it matched my hair, Cynthia. I hadn't even observed that, but it would look fabulous on me. So this is a super cute little called the Lucky Felted Acorn. Keep it in a secret place to help you always see that you are extraordinary, especially to me. So this is from a company called The Felted Dog, and they have needle felting kits, wet felting project packs, felting needles, Hedgie, the felt edger, US made templates, handmade felted flowers, wool clutch bags, and more. And they are in, this is adorable. And I'm going to put it in, I've got this cool, which I hijacked from the front hall, because we weren't really using it for anything. And so I kind of believe a little bit in feng shui. So I read that if you put money in some place, that it will, that you can have it and then you have it in the money area of your room, that it will improve your finances. Well, so far it hasn't, but I know where to find change. So I think I'll put that. It's so cute. So Mitch has a sister-in-law who was married to his older brother, and his older brother left trusts that Mitch has been managing for a million years. And so he and Charlotte are always in touch. And in the early years when she was a widow, she would send us gifts. And so that felted. She has great taste and goes to like craft fairs in the Midwest. So she's always sent good things. But thank God we quit doing that because I have no room for tchotchkes. So this is fingering weight superwash and nylon, and it's from the Road Trip Sock Yarn. I think I've seen them before. TNNA. I love spotted yarn, not particularly my color, but I will swatch it up. And this one, and there's a little sticker that goes with it. It's called Sea Change and SEA, Change Fibers. And I talked to this gal at our local fiber thing. I think it's in August. And I bought some of her yarn, which I still have not done anything with, but I know exactly what I'm going to make out of it. So this is fingering in Falklands Merino, and I liked the way she dyed in her colors. So let's see, does this card say where she's going to be? These are all in the, what's the word? I can't read and talk at the same time, and I'm not seeing her here. Anyhow, they're all in the Indie Untangled, so I will be swatching that. This, the gal has been in every year. I think she's a nurse or something, and she did this during the pandemic. So they're called stitch balms, and you just like rub it on your hands, and then as you're knitting, it kind of gives off that scent and puts a tiny bit, but not an overwhelming amount, into your yarn. And so this one is called Calm. I have several of these because I've been to several H&H's. Here's something kind of, this is from Lemon Wood, so I'm assuming they sell wood items. Let's see what's in here. Find hidden objects. It's a game, I guess. So this, a nice little project bag. Again, a little small, but I'll use it for yarn. So it's small batch tools, handmade in Arizona. And so this is, okay, so we've got this piece and then this disc, and you do that and you can hang it. Oh, it's even got this. You can put your ball of yarn on it. Should have a ball like that and wear it on your wrist. But these never work for me because I pull from the inside. I hate pulling from the outside. But this is very cute, and maybe I'll mail it to somebody at some point because that's something I will never use. This I might use. Here's more yarn. This is called Lovejoy Fiber and Knits from Salt Lake, Utah. And this is micro sock, merino, and nylon. I was just doing a quick calculation. There's 10 grams and 46 yards, so it's a 460 yard skein. And again, love those little spots on the white, so I'll have fun with that. Lucky Jonquil. I can't remember what this gal did. Maybe she was a designer. Lucky Jonquil, she does now embroidery kits and storage options. And I'm peeling off this sticky rubber cement stuff, which I hate. And so I can't remember what her name is, but I always look forward to seeing her. So again, a really nice packaging. And this is stitchable wood, so you can create that, do the stitches, and I guess put it on your keys or something. But there's a little tutorial, and there's a little something so you can cover up the back. That's a really cute idea. About as much stitching as I usually want to do. I want to stitch, but I don't like stitching that much. But I did tackle, I have this great top, I think I told you about it, that I've spilled on, and so I have to cover up the oil spots. HAP B Creative Studios. Tools help reflect your personality. They mix of humor to brighten the crafting process. So let's see what this is. So a couple of really cute little stitch markers. I hate those kind of stitch markers, but I have lots of them because people love them. And then this has, what does this say? Oh, that's just their name. I guess it's a 2-inch ruler, which would be handy to have. Nothing wrong with that. So let's see, I'm trying to separate things into what I'm going to knit, which is really all I care about, and other stuff that people give me. I still have things from past TNNAs, and I should just throw them into mail to people. So anyhow, I'll be looking to see what else they have. And here's another, let's see if there's an easy way to open this. Oh, there we go. So I totally get why people use this kind of packaging. But Junie and C, hand-dyed yarn from Snoqualmie, Washington. So Snoqualmie is north of here on the way to Vancouver. Not sure exactly where. Again, more speckled yarn. I think we're seeing a trend here. It is, they don't say. I think it's, they give you a QR code, so you can probably find out at their website. But, so they don't have any identification, and so I'm going to stick this all back into the plastics so I don't lose them. So I have these, which you get, they're called Envy packs, and what I love about them is they're made from cornstarch, so they are compostable, and the size that I have in front of me is actually approved by USPS, and I'm sure there's other sizes that you can do it. So you can like put something in here. This is a peel off sticky thing, and just throw this in the mail. But I love them for keeping things in. And this one's been used many times. So the flap here is perforated, so you can actually take off this white part or the sticky part if you want, and you can take off most of the flap. But I love these. I have them from when we used to do paper patterns. If you ever need any, let me know. I still have a box of them. So this is called yarn, Treasure Goddess yarn. Okay, so there's a pirate hat, so I think you're supposed to say yarn. Does she say where she's from? Saturated jewel tone colors. Says she's a production dyer, and so larger quantities are available. And let's see. picture of her. So this is 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. Fingering weight. I love that green, of course. And then this yarn, there's a label in here, good. Another tiny bag. Oh God, I'm gonna get a dirty look from my cleaning lady for all this stuff. So this is a bamboo linen blend, fingering weight, 437 yards to 100 grams. I love linen, so, and because of this blend, the linen in bamboo, the linen is giving it kind of a crispness, and the bamboo is making it softer than regular linen yarn. So those are good. Trying to keep, so I will often just use, when I hand wind a ball, I'll use the label for the inside. And so this is the final package. I saved it for the last because it was the best packaging, I thought. So this is from, it looks like it says barnyarn.com. Where's my postcard? Is this any bigger here? Barn yarn, yes indeed. So it's got a cute little sticker on it, which I'm of course going to break. It's not paper, so it's not going to break. And this cute little box. Oh, this was something that was knitted, but it's like a textured yarn. Love that. Hate to knit with things like that, but and it's called Feeling Berry Glam. Great color, great name. Superwash and nylon. So 38 yards in 8 grams. I can't do that math in my head quickly enough, but very excited to try that out. So it looks like it may split a little bit, which for those of us who don't look when you're knitting, that can be troublesome. This is another sock weight, 75 merino and 25%, so 5 times whatever 87 is. You can tell I've had a long day. I can't do mental math. So again, a beautiful color. I'm hoping that seeing this color means that purples are coming in. And then, this is like my classic color. I love this. And it is also, this is worsted. It's non-superwash merino. And this is 25 grams, 43 yards. That's all. Okay, so, and this little box I am going to use to take some pens and things to an H, so that'll give me a way to corral those. So what am I going to do with that? You never know. So that is Indie Untangled. I found these. Oh, I know what I was like. Are these from last year? This was actually in the box because I am in the Indie Untangled booth, and so there's a QR code which goes someplace. Oh, to the horizontal best art calculator. So I also found some extras that had been sent. Oh, one more thing. So this is from Pacific Knit Company, and so this is Colorworks, and it says Demo Doodle Deck. Let's see, how do you use Doodle with you? Choose your chart. Okay, so there's a chart that looks kind of like a mushroom. And choose your pattern. So there's a couple of cowl patterns in here. So, and start knitting. Okay, so some are like that. I don't know how you're supposed to, like this. Okay, read the instructions. So it looks like these are, so there's some basic geometrics. Then these are summer, and then we go into autumn and winter. So this is a reindeer. So that's pretty cute. I don't know what, I of course have no use for that. But what a great idea for people who kind of know what they want to do and are just looking for a little inspiration or an easy something to do. So that'll get mailed out to somebody someday when I have nothing better to do. So that's, I think I have like a dozen yarns here to swatch. These will all be swatched ASAP. Is that? Yeah, just makeup from my glasses sliding down my face. What time is it? 4:49. Don't have much time to talk about the pattern tailor. I will post my swatches because, I love to swatch. And I'm working on putting together summer design camp. And what got me thinking about doing that was I was contacted by some homeschooling mother. I think her name is Fran, but You know, it's just like this thing popped up in my email, no identification, nothing. Just, will you teach my daughter how to design a sweater? She was a little horrified when she found out what I would charge for it. And I said, if you want to talk to other homeschoolers and put together a group, you can get a decidedly better rate. Yeah, so I think those cards would be great if I didn't know what I was going to do, but I always know what I'm going to do. So I've been kind of trying to find some easy stitches that I can introduce people to using in design. So my favorite right now is double seed stitch, which is seed stitch the same over 2 rows. So knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, and then you do the same going back, and then you switch. And I'm loving it for texture and showing off these beautiful hand paint dies because they look like crap in stockinette. And garter is often just a little too blah. And I love seed stitch, but people don't like to knit it. I don't think they're probably going to like knitting double seed stitch either. I'm a continental knitter. I don't have to look at my knitting. I am happy doing something where I have to switch every stitch. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't like so much doing moss stitch. And those names are all just like screwed up. So there's seed stitch, double seed, and moss. But depending upon who you talk to, they may be different. So moss is 4x4, and I don't like doing it as much. That rhythm doesn't work for me as easily, which is half the battle when you're knitting, is just finding things that your hands enjoy working. So then I've got a couple of other things but they're all 6-stitch patterns that I've done many times before. So what I like to do is to find something that I know is really reliable to teach people how to do something they don't already know how to do. So I'm just looking. No, that isn't the one. But so I found this one, which I absolutely adore, but it's a slip stitch cable, and you cable over 3 center stitches. It's kind of a bitch to do. So we won't be using that, but I may use it. And so anyhow, back to design camp, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to just take a tank top that I already have the pattern for and use it to introduce design concepts and how you make design decisions and how you find the right fabric for your yarn, etc. And then I've got get this without bringing the house down, so I have my half-size dress form. So she's a size 10, or basically a size 10. She has removable arms. This is half-size cowl that I did using yarn from H&H a couple of years ago. And so this is my basic tank top. And so pretty easy, but depending upon which stitch you use, and you can put a panel down the front, you can put a panel down the side, but it's pretty straightforward. This one, because I don't have to take your arms off because they've got pins that are dangerous, I don't need to have, hold on to her, a different size front and a different size back because my boobs aren't that big. So this one, you can actually wear it either way. So now it's got the higher on the back, or you can just choose which neckline you want in the front. So one of the interesting things about this one is, and she's been wearing it the other way for quite a while, so it's probably, and look at this. So I hand dyed this yarn using like beads or something, and I didn't put whatever they call it, that mortar on it. So it's just gotten more and more faded. But you can see that, so she could use a bustard because it was riding up in the front. Or maybe she needs a deeper armhole that would make the back longer. So that's, and you can make this longer. You can put in shaping if you want. It's one that I always have people put a panel down the front, and then you can put shaping along the panel, and you don't have to do any vertical shaping or side seam shaping to get it to come in a little bit. So then I get an email from this mom again whose name I have no recollection of. What I think she told me at one point it was Fran or Ruth or something. But she talks to me like she's talking to her kid, which I really don't like because I'm an old lady now. So, there's never any, hi, how are you? It's just like, well, Hannah wants to do this. And we've already been around the block about how much I charge. And I am just about ready to cut her and Hannah loose. So we'll see how they reply to my latest email, which was, I understand that Hannah wants to design her own sweater, but you can't just do that in 4 weeks, which is all she can afford to pay me. So anyhow, we'll see. I suspect they're on Easter break. I don't know. So I planned this whole class for Hannah, and then I was thinking, well, I think this would be really fun for any knitter who wants to try their hand at designing. You can use my pattern, so all you have to do is, so what do you mean, Cynthia, for Hannah? So the thing is that she doesn't know anything. So I got to teach her everything. And so I can't just like have her give me a pattern and say, I want to make this with, roses on the front or whatever she wants to do. I can help her do that, but she needs to practice on something else. So she's going to practice on what I want her to practice on because I'm the one who's an expert. And I don't care whether I teach Hannah or not. I would love to do it. I think it would be really a lot of fun. But seriously, you don't really want to pay me, and then you're going to tell me how to do it. No. So I'm going to do it online on Zoom for anyone who wants to try it out. And so my idea is that you will practice on this small half-size sweater, and then you can apply the design concepts once you've figured out what you want to do to any fucking pattern you want to. So I think it's time for me to go figure out the problem I'm having in Excel and call it a day. But people assume that designing is really simple and that what I know, something that they can apparently learn in a month. This is not the case, and hats off to you if you want to try it, but it ends up being a little more complicated than people think. So I will have 3 summer camp sessions of a month each, and to take you further and further into the process. So I will take any level of experience. So, if this is like the first garment you're going to do, if you're a teenager, but you have to be polite to me, somebody who thinks they maybe want to be a designer and wants me to hold their hand a little bit, this will be a great opportunity because it will be short and sweet, and you don't have to do all 3 sessions. You can do 1 or any combination of them and give you a taste of what I do. So I can hardly wait to get to my knitting, but first I have to solve this Excel problem. So one of the things in the pattern tailor is I have to anticipate every possible scenario and address it so that the calculator works for anything that anybody puts in. And so what I have been running up against is if you choose not to have me calculate how much yarn you need in this particular application, which you don't have to do, it zeroes everything out, and then I've got something that multiplies by one of those zeros, and you can't do that. So then I have to write a logic statement that says, if it's greater than 0, do this. If it's equal to 0, then put 0 in. And just so that I can avoid multiplying by a 0. So as soon as I do that, it fixes everything. But Jesus, we've had a hard time finding that particular error, because whenever I put information into the pattern tailor, because I'm crazy, I always put all the information that they asked for. It didn't occur to me to leave things. There are some optional things that you don't, and it didn't ever occur to me to leave those blank. So now it has occurred to me, because that's what my knitter is doing. And I can easily solve it once I have the problem, but I just could not figure out why I was getting these errors. And then she's actually in Britain, so we're on completely different schedules. And so we have like an hour of overlap or 2 hours of overlap in the morning. and then she goes to bed. So this has taken quite a while, and I'm really excited that I finally figured out what it is. And although I'm not that great at writing logic statements, I figured this one out pretty easily. So have a great weekend. I hope your weather is going to be better than ours is going to be. I don't care because I don't like run Easter egg hunts, and I'm not wearing a pretty Easter dress. But if that's in your cards, I hope you have good weather for it. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.